Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo. ¿Quién es Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo? Bueno, pues les voy a decir. Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo nació el 24 de junio del año de 1962, aquí en la Ciudad de México. Claudia Sheinbaum estudió la licenciatura en física en la UNAM, además de hacer una maestría y un doctorado en ingeniería en energía. En el año 2000 se integró al gabinete del hoy presidente, el señor Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Más tarde se desempeñó como secretaria de Medio Ambiente en la capital, aquí en la Ciudad de México. Ella participó en uno de los proyectos que lideró, fue lo de la construcción del segundo piso del periférico. En el año 2006 formó parte del gabinete legítimo del hoy presidente Andrés Manuel López Obrador, presidente de México. Encabezó acciones para impedir la aprobación de la famosa reforma energética por parte del PRI, del PAN, del PRD, que hoy por hoy sabemos que era un robo a la nación. En el año 2015 ganó la jefatura delegacional, hoy alcaldía de Tlalpan, bajo las siglas del partido Morena. Su momento más polémico fue luego del año 2019, cuando se acusó a su administración de emitir permisos apócrifos para la operación del colegio Repsamen que se derrumbó en el sismo, y hubo muchos niños y mucha gente que murió. Como podremos ver, no todo esto fue miel sobre hojuelas. En agosto del año 2017 se convirtió en la coordinadora de Morena en la Ciudad de México. Meses después se registró como candidata a la jefatura del gobierno de este partido de Morena para la Ciudad de México. Obviamente con la promoción y el patrocinio del hoy presidente de México, Andrés Manuel López Obrador. El 1 de julio del año 2018 ganó las elecciones para la jefatura del gobierno de la Ciudad de México y hoy por hoy es jefa de gobierno de la Ciudad de México y dejó su cargo para postularse para las próximas presidencias de los presidenciables que se postulan para la presidencia del año 2024 en México. Y en cuanto al lado sentimental y amoroso, sabemos que Claudia Sheinbaum no es la excepción. Sabemos muy bien que su pareja sentimental se llama Jesús María Tarriba Onger. Es un físico graduado en la Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México, UNAM, nacido en Sinaloa, y que pues comenta Claudia Sheinbaum que es su amor de universidad, ya que llevan muchos años de conocerse. Y hasta hoy por hoy, comenta ella que posiblemente den el paso de comprometerse y casarse, según ella. Claudia Sheinbaum cuenta y ya tiene 2 hijos en su haber, con su antiguo ex esposo y su antiguo matrimonio. Su antiguo ex esposo se llama Carlos Imaz Gispert, del año de 1987 al año 2016. Este señor es perredista de hueso colorado y pues es su antiguo chiquistriquis de Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo. Sabemos muy bien que Claudia Sheinbaum no todas sus raíces son mexicanas, debido a que sus abuelos paternos son de descendencia lituana y búlgara. Y sabemos que Claudia Sheinbaum le gusta la religión judía. Eso sí, hija de padre y madre mexicanos, pero hubo mucha controversia con respecto a su nacionalidad. También se comenta por ahí que el famoso actor Sylvester Stallone, mejor conocido como Rocky Balboa y otros caracteres de películas de Hollywood, Se comenta que hoy en el famoso evento que tuvo en el Zócalo de la Ciudad de México, la jefa de gobierno fue felicitada por Sylvester Stallone. Mucha gente comentó y criticó y le preguntaron a Claudia Sheinbaum cuánto le costó al erario público esta dicha felicitación por parte del actor de Hollywood. Pero bueno, ¿qué les parece si los dejo a continuación?
And this is why I'm so pleased to be joined today by Mayor Sheinbaum to talk about her vision and her approach. Buenos dias, Mayor Sheinbaum. I know it's early. It's early there. Welcome to City Lab.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and welcome to Mexico City. Bye.
It's great to see you again. You know, oftentimes at conferences like these, or when you talk with city leaders, you hear them talk about a smart cities agenda, a technology agenda. They talk a lot about the solution. I really noticed when you and I met that is not at all where you start these conversations. Tell us why this agenda has been important to you and what it's grounded in.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, since we entered to the government, we say that the city's motto for our government is that we are a city of rights and innovation. Rights mean for us the right for education for everybody, to public health, better environment, access to internet, and a better relation between citizens and government. So we believe that through digital innovation, we can make sure that everyone in Mexico City has access to the rights that they deserve. So digital services must be put to the service, especially to the poorest of the city. It's not just an interest to have a better digitalization of every services that the government provides. In many places, digital innovation has been centered around making the most advantaged people for comfortable. In Mexico City, we changed this model, or at least that's what we want to change. This means using digital to give people access to the rights they have been denied historically. Digital innovation in Mexico City is a way to reduce brutal inequalities of the past. So our objective is to ensure that through connectivity and digital services, everyone in Mexico City have access to the rights they deserve, to connect to the people they love, or to get access to knowledge, or to have access to governmental services. So it's more than putting the government in the service to the people, rather than a thing that government needs to digitalize every permit that they have.
Incredibly powerful and ambitious and beautiful vision. So we'll talk in a moment about the breadth and the impact that you're having. But first, you're an engineer. I know you can get into the weeds. How did you lift this ambitious effort off the ground? What were the first steps you took to facilitate this bold agenda?
Well, the first thing that we did is to create the Digital Agency for Public Innovation. You know, many people think that innovation is only a way for private enterprises, and that government is not, it's not possible for government to produce innovation. So we created agency. We have many young people working on this agency, and we have proved that innovation is part also of of a state process. So we are convinced that digitalization is a way to empower citizens, and that's why we create this agency.
One of the things, just to point out to everyone in the room, as this law took effect at the time the mayor went into office, so she worked to get the law passed before she got there, but it consolidates, Mayor, I think, a number of agencies that you wanted all to be under one umbrella, reporting directly into the mayor. Why was that consolidation and that proximity to the mayor important to you?
The first thing is that many regulations happen in any minister of the city. So the first thing that we did is that there was not possible to make a new regulation to pass through the agency. So that's very important because you have in one place regulation or deregulation, depending on what you want to see. And at the same time, you have digitalization and access to every services that the government gives to the poorest people of the city. So that's the philosophy that where we create the agency. Well, we have developed actually a factory of software with these young people. There are around 40 young people that are working in this agency. We have stopped paying for services, for digital services, and we are actually, bringing everything almost for free. We have created a lot of software for inside the government and outside the government, and decreasing many tramits that we have to do by the services that the government provide. So this is not possible if the chief of government is not directly involved in what we're creating, and also directly involved with the citizens to see if what you're doing is really happening.
Again, it's just worth noting because it is incredibly unusual. Mexico City has a technology factory. They are building their own technology in-house. They are resisting the outsourcing. They are resisting buying products off of the shelf. Mayor, why is that important to you? It's incredibly unorthodox. Why is that a central part of the reform that you're driving?
Okay, I would say the driving is one. It's that we know that we have local talent of young people to create it. The second thing is that we use open software, and that's very, very important because you not involve the city in a long-term contract to private enterprises for services. So we develop it. And the other thing is that we save a lot of money, almost about probably 150,000 $150 million doing this.
Great. So let's now talk a little bit about some of the impact that you're having. I understand. Let me give you a few of your statistics, and you can tell me if I'm off here. She started with 90 free Wi-Fi spots in 2019. By the end of this year, there will be 34,000 free Wi-Fi spots, the largest free Wi-Fi network in any city in the world. Your Llave, the single sign-on digital key, has over 65% of Mexico City adults now participating, incredible penetration. You've replaced 40 different apps with a single app to make digital complaints to get COVID results. Mayor, with results like these, where do you go next?
Okay, first we have to consolidate everything that we have developed. We are now, as you said, the most connected city in the world. We are going to end this year with 33,000 free Wi-Fi points. We are connecting every public school. We are connecting 3,500 units, housing development. We have around 15,000 points around the city, and we are now to the poorest part of the city to also give connectivity as a right. Through that, we think that access to internet, it's also a right for the citizens. It is not, if you have citizens that only the one that can pay have access to internet, then what you're going to do is increase separation, increase inequalities in the city. So for us, it's very, very important that people can access to free internet. And also it's free. I mean, they want to do what they want. We think that people are responsible for their lives. The state has not the right to go through the citizens. We just want to give them the right to do that. The second thing is that we're working on llave, as you said. It's the key to the governmental services. So we are going to consolidate llave. So if you have 18 years old and you are going to have your first, connect to the government, what we want is along your life, if you live in Mexico City, you don't have to give any other paper that the government already have. Maybe if you change your address or something like that, but you have your small key or your small file, your small file, save file for every citizens in Mexico City. That's going to be, a huge advantage for the citizens and for the government. So you're going to have a digital connection, and probably you're going to end the lines. The other thing that we have digital driver licenses, digital, permit for your car, and many other digital services that put the Mexico City in another part, comparing to other cities, not only in Mexico, but in the world.
Who agrees with me that a study trip to Mexico City might be in order? Thank you, Mayor. It's really brilliant. I'm going to leave you with one final question. We have a room full of people all committed to making their cities more innovative places and putting values at the center of that work. If you have a single piece of advice for cities that may not be as far along as you, what would that be?
Okay, the first thing is that believe in your people, always. They have a key for the future. There's always this thing that you have to contract, private enterprises for many, many things. And that's good for some services. But believe in your young people. That's, the first thing that I could say. The second thing is that don't be afraid to do this. Once you go and believe in the people that it's doing all these things, you're going to find a way to connect to your citizens, and this is, the best way that you can do. And the other thing is be connected to your citizens, because sometimes you think that you solve many, many problems, but you have to be in contact if you really solve them, or you're thinking only from your office.
Wonderful. Gracias, Mayor Sheinbaum. Thank you for...
Pero bueno, sabemos que todos los políticos tienen cola que les pisen, algunos más larga, algunos más corta, o algunos de plano tal vez no tengan cola. Pero a final de cuentas son como todos los seres humanos, con defectos y con virtudes. Yo no soy partidista ni apartidista por algún partido político, ya que para mí, con respecto a algún partido político, más que nada, para mí todos los partidos son nefastos y corruptos. Es muy raro el partido político o el político que es bueno y leal al pueblo. Espero yo equivocarme. Este caso, la señora Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, pues ahí la lleva, pianito, paso a pasito. Hasta el momento no se le ha descubierto nada corrupto, y pues yo creo que la señora ahí la lleva. No me atrevo a meter las manos al fuego por nadie, pero sí cabe recalcar y destacar que todos estos políticos de Morena, pues si no fuera por el apoyo que les da el presidente Andrés Manuel López Obrador, francamente Morena no sería nada. Cabe destacar que en Morena ha saltado mucho grillo. ¿A qué me refiero con mucho grillo? Ha saltado mucho político panista, priista, perredista, emesista, y pues desgraciadamente si Morena no cuida su estatus como partido, los mismos chapulines que van de partido en partido, salte y salte para vivir del erario público, esos mismos chapulines, esos mismos políticos que vienen del PRI, del PAN, del PRD o de MC, van a acabar saturando al partido de Morena, llenándolo con esos malos vicios, pudriéndolo de adentro hacia afuera y de afuera hacia adentro, y obviamente eso le va a costar que la gente deje de creer en ellos. Un claro ejemplo es Claudia Sheinbaum, que invitó a un panista llamado Gonzalo Espina Miranda. Es un panista del Partido Acción Nacional de Hueso Colorado y que pues fue muy criticada en este aspecto la jefa de gobierno o ex jefa de gobierno Claudia Sheinbaum. Por mi parte también fue muy criticada, ya que todavía no empiezan las campañas, todavía no se llega a la presidencia y ya está jalando gente de otros partidos. Para mi punto de vista, eso estuvo pésimamente mal por la doctora Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo. Pero bueno, al final de cuentas, políticos son y seguirán siendo políticos al fin y al cabo. Por favor, les pido que me comenten ahí abajo en la caja de comentarios qué opinan al respecto con este video y con este tema. No sin antes darle las gracias por llegar hasta el final de este video. Les pido por favor, como siempre, que me regalen su poderoso like, comenten, compartan, distribuyan, suscríbanse a mi canal y pues sin más ni más me despido. Yo soy su amigo Khalessi Noticias TV y les doy las gracias. Hasta la próxima.
Tengo su fusil, soy de la misma causa por la que me hizo morir. Ya sabremos los salteños vencer o morir. Chacarera, chacarera de la libertad. Sabroso que suene el taqui, taqui, taqui sobre la mina. Que vengan los cornuqueros para el baile de San Juan. Que vengan los cornuqueros para el baile de San Juan.
Things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the